Hello students, I tried taking sunbath today and within a few minutes my body became very hot. So today we will understand what is the reason behind this. So let's start. Heat is a form of energy which makes any substance hot. In winter, it is our common experience that we feel cold inside the house, and if we come out in front of sun rays, then we feel warm. So, all this is because of the presence of heat. Now, if we know that how do we feel this sensation of warm or cold, then what will be our answer? Think. In this chapter, we will try to find out the answer to such kind of question. At first, we will have to understand the exact meaning of hot and cold. In our daily routine, we come across a number of objects, out of which some are hot while other objects are cold. For example, when a frying pan kept on a burning gas stove becomes hot, but the handle of the pan is cold. This is the image of a pan. Now, in the pan, the area for frying is made out of metal, and the handle of the pan is made out of plastic or some material which is similar to plastic. You must have heard about conductors and insulators. Conductors are those substances which allow the heat to pass through them, and insulators are those substances which does not allow the heat to pass through them. That is why when we keep this pan on a gas stove, the metal portion of the pan starts to conduct heat, and that is why it becomes hot, while the plastic portion or the handle portion of the pan remains cold because it is an insulator and it cannot conduct heat. Even among the hot objects, some objects may be hotter than the other. In the same manner, among the cold objects, some objects may be colder than the other. So if I ask you, decide the relative hotness or coldness of objects, then your answer will be by simply touching the objects. But there's a catch here. Let's say you have two cups of tea, and if I tell you which cup is hotter, then what will be your answer? Can you just simply touch both of them and tell that which one is hotter? Obviously, no, because it has a very minute change of hotness. So you cannot just simply touch and say that which one is hotter and which one is colder. This is called relative hotness or coldness. When we compare the hotness of one object to the hotness of other object. So, as I said, our sense of touch is not enough in telling us whether an object is really hot or cold. So, how do we exactly know which object is hotter and which object is colder? For that, we make use of temperature and thermometer. The degree of hotness or coldness of the object is known as the temperature of an object. The temperature of an object is an only property that indicates which object is hot and which object is cold. A high temperature of a body indicates that it is very hot, whereas a low temperature of the object indicates that it is quite cold. For example, you must have used thermometer when you had fever. So what you see is the doctor says that you have 102 degree Fahrenheit fever. So this means that your body temperature is high. But if you see that your body temperature is somewhere around 98 degree Fahrenheit, so you will say that your body is colder and it is at a normal temperature. Now tell me, can you just by touching the body tell that what is the temperature of your body? Obviously no. So you require a device called thermometer to do that. And thermometer measures the temperature. I will give you one more example. The temperature of boiling water is quite high. So boiling water appears to be very hot. On the other side, the temperature of melting ice is quite low. So ice appears to be very cold on touch. Now, if I ask you what is the distance between your home and your school, you can say it in definite numbers. For example, the distance from my home to my school is 450 meters. Similarly, can you say what in definite numbers what is the temperature of the boiling water and what is the temperature of the ice? Yes, you definitely can. And that is why we use a thermometer. So, temperature is measured by using an instrument called thermometer, which has a scale marked on it, which is used to read the temperature. For example, the scale in laboratory thermometer is marked along the length of thermometer's tube between 0 degree mark and 100 degree mark into 100 equal divisions. It looks somewhat similar to the centimeter scale that you use for your geometry. Can you tell me what does one small division in your centimeter scale measures? Yes, it measures 1 millimeter. Similarly, a thermometer has each division and each division is called a degree. The temperature of an object should always be stated with its unit. So, the most common unit for measuring temperature is degree Celsius, just as the unit for measuring the length is millimeter or centimeter. Generally, there are two types of thermometers. The first one is a clinical thermometer and the second one is a laboratory thermometer. Both the clinical thermometer and laboratory thermometer are mercury thermometers. This means that a metal called mercury is filled inside those thermometers. So, when a particular amount of heat is supplied to the thermometer bulb consisting of mercury, then the mercury expands and get rises in the glass tube of the thermometer. This fact is used in measuring the temperature. You must remember that whenever we heat something, it expands. So this fact is used in measuring the temperature. Now let us see what is a clinical thermometer. It is a thermometer which is used for measuring the temperature of the human body, and in case of fever, it is used by a doctor to measure the temperature of the patient. This thermometer consists of a long glass tube having a thin and uniform bore. There is a glass bulb at one end of the glass tube which consists of mercury. Now, this thin and uniform bore, it means that it has a hollow portion at the inside where the mercury will rise and show the temperature. Now we will see what are the features of a clinical thermometer. There is a very short range of temperature of a clinical thermometer, that is from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. The short range of a clinical thermometer is because of the fact that the temperature of human body normally does not go below 35 degrees Celsius or above 42 degrees Celsius. If the temperature goes beyond these points, a human will die. Just above the bulb containing mercury, a clinical thermometer has a kink in its glass tube, which is to prevent the backflow of mercury into the thermometer bulb when the thermometer bulb is removed from the mouth of the patient. This kink prevents the mercury level in the thermometer tube from falling on its own. Due to this, we can read the correct body temperature of the patient even after removing the thermometer bulb from his mouth. Here in the picture, I have shown the position of the kink with the help of an arrow. As I said, the kink does not allow the level of mercury to go down. So, the level of mercury can be brought down by giving jerk to the thermometer tube. Now we have to note that as the mercury is very toxic and is difficult to dispose of, so thermometer must be handled carefully. Clinical thermometer should not be used to measure the temperature of the objects other than the human body. Why? Because it is out of the range of clinical thermometer. One more thing which we have to note is it should not be kept in the sun or near a flame. Otherwise, it may break. Why will it break? Because the temperature will be beyond the range of clinical thermometer. So the mercury will expand so much that it will break the glass tube. Nowadays, digital thermometers are used which do not use mercury. These are the pictures of digital thermometers. So students, today we learned about heat and temperature. What is the meaning of hot and cold? After that, we also understood the use of thermometer and a clinical thermometer. I hope you found this session useful. Your homework today is to read the chapter properly. I'll meet you next time. Till then, take care.